Good morning, everyone. It is April 30th, 2025. The last day of April. Can you believe this crap? And it's time for your Good Morning Coffee and Talk. I'm Dolly, and this is the Wolf Girl Oracle. I'm just checking to make sure I'm actually live, so bear with me here. I haven't done this in 6 weeks? So I just want to be sure that everything is working. It looks like it is. Okay, y'all can hear me and everything's good with that and all that? Yeah. Okay. But good morning. Let me say some good mornings here. We've got good morning to Jenny. Good morning. Good to see you. Nils, my Norse brother. Good to see you. Fatima, it's great to see you and your smiling face. I've missed you so much. Katie, my sweet sister, I love you. Good morning. Good morning, Barbara. Thanks for subscribing and welcome to the show. Welcome to chaos. It's going to be a little chaotic today, but I'm really glad you're here. Annie, good morning, Annie. It's good to see you too. Annie, I've got my prayer candle lit. Yeah, it's still lit. I got my prayer candle lit for you today for your kidney stones, because I want them to pass. And for anyone who is going through any kind of thing where if you need prayer or energy sent to you, please reach out in the chat here. Every one of the people in the chat here is really good about sending love and light. So please let us know, okay? We really, really want to help you. Swampy, good morning. It's good to see you. Teresa Ford. Teresa. You know what I'm talking about. Viviani's here too. Good morning, Viviani. Oh, it's good to see you, beautiful, beautiful lady. Wow. Hello, everyone. Well, I am really glad that you guys are all here. I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long, but I've got this thing, all right? Right or wrong, I've got this thing where if I am on any kind of a narcotic, I do not partake in spiritual things, and I kind of keep to myself. I don't want to, narcotics just sometimes, Teresa, the shame. Where is your towel? Anyways, when I'm on narcotics, I really don't feel good about like interacting with people. Ask Katie. I've been quiet for 6 weeks. I really have. I've just kind of kept to myself, and I've done a lot of introspection during that time. Some very much needed shadow work. I was stuck in one place. I really had no choice than to be stuck and to think. So all these things that kept coming up, I just started dealing with everything. I did a lot of crying, a lot of ugly crying, a lot of letting go, a lot of releasing, and it was really good. Good morning, Kat. It's good to see you. Good morning, Teresa Levine. Oh my gosh, I am so happy to see all you guys. I really, really am. Nancy's here. Good morning, Nancy. It is really good to see you. I am so happy to see you guys. Hey, I got to show you what we've been doing. This happened yesterday. I'm going to show you guys. So if I haven't told you guys this before, our garage was in the process of falling down. I'm not even kidding. The garage was listing. It was bowing. On one side, there was even some, what is it called? The siding was starting to pop off, right? I truly believe that the 15 layers of paint that were on the garage is what was actually keeping it from falling down. I'm not even kidding. Okay. And yes, there was actually 15 layers of paint on the garage. And you know who put most of those 15 layers on? I think I did 13 out of 15, because whenever, this was my grandma and grandpa's house, as you guys know, I bought it from them. When I was a little kid, I grew up here quite a bit. When I was a little kid, when I do something naughty, Grandpa made me paint the garage. So I'm not even kidding when I say 13 of the 15 layers that were on that garage were from me. Did I learn my lesson? No, clearly I did not. All right, let me show you guys this real quick. Let me add this to the stage. So this is my garage being knocked down, you guys. So there was big heavy equipment. Can I make this full screen? Solo layout. There we go. This big machine came that looked like a dinosaur. Oh, you know what? I don't know if you guys can hear me. So I had this big machine that came that looked like a dinosaur, and it was just chopping up the garage yesterday. And I actually live streamed that on my other channel. My other channel's name is Rachel-Dali Hug, RACHEL space DALI space HUG, Rachel-Dali Hug. And that, my other channel, I've had since 2006. So when I say that I'm an old timer on YouTuber, I am an old timer on YouTuber. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that crazy looking, you guys? So I'm going to be live streaming the process on my other channel as we build the new garage. If you're into that kind of thing, you can check it out. If you're not, please don't. I'm not going to have hurt feelings over that. But yeah, it was fun to watch. And, you know, yesterday I thought, well, I don't know how many people are going to actually watch this. I mean, it was 3 hours long. You know, how exciting can this be? But I got an email this morning. Just a little while ago, I checked my email because I was setting up my stream here. And I got an email from a lady who sent me a thank you email because her son is autistic, but is really into construction projects and loves to watch all things construction on YouTube. She sat him down in front of the computer and he watched it from beginning to end. And she said that was such a blessing for her because it gave her 2 hours to just do a few things around the house that she can't normally get done because her son needs so much care. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, girl, keep watching because I'm going to be live streaming the cement being laid, live streaming the excavation, live streaming the building process. So, you know, I'll let you. So I'm going to send her the link every time I'm going live so that she can have her son watching it with us. Isn't that cool? Isn't that like, it's such a big expense to build a garage. Let me tell you, this is crazy how expensive this is, but it really needed to happen, right? But it's nice to know that the process is helping somebody other than just us, right? I was just like, oh my gosh. So Katie said, that was so fun to watch. Kat said, they do look like something primeval. You are correct. Okay. Teresa, I, for one, am glad you didn't learn your lesson. Me too, because the garage would have fallen down much sooner. Annie says, that was so nice of her. How cool is that, right? You never know how far the joy travels, right? I love construction videos, all kinds, from bushcraft through Japanese timber frame. Oh my gosh, Japanese timber frame is fascinating to me. It is so, there's such a perfection in that craft. You know what I mean? There's so much intention and thought and spiritualness that is put into that craft. I know what you're talking about, Kat. I love it too, so much. So much. Yeah, it was a blessing. I mean, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. It's just so wonderful to know that somebody actually likes something that about this, you know. So let me stop this here. But yeah, so you guys got the idea of what this was. And there we go. Got that set back up. So yeah, that was cool. So, okay, let's see. Katie says, I am so happy today. My daughter friend graduated with her bachelor's in counseling yesterday. Yay, Kaylee. I haven't cried so many happy tears in years and years. I watched it with Katie yesterday, and it was so exciting to see her graduate. I just wish her the best. I hope that I hope that, you know, the world is hers now. That's the way I'm looking at it. The world is hers. Ah, I agree. I love that show, Home on Apple TV. Yeah. There are, oops, I'm sorry. What is going on here? Okay. There's One Beautiful Home, all bamboo, so artistic. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love bamboo. I have bamboo flooring here in my meditation room. And I had special intention with putting bamboo into the flooring here. The Zen master that I worked with back when I was at a Zen school said that there's a special property in bamboo because it is such a moisture bearing flow kind of plant that it really does help to amplify um, energetic streams that you're trying to draw in when you're meditating. Okay, when you're doing a special intentional meditation. So I got bamboo flooring in here, and I can attest that it is wonderful. It is wonderful. It's a little soft, but wonderful. So I want to read something to you guys. Let's start off the day with speaking of Buddhism, let's start off the day with Pema Chodron's, one of Pema Chodron's compassion cards. I love these. And the card today is begin the sequence of sending and taking with yourself. Begin the sequence of sending and taking with yourself. And it says, whatever pain you feel, take it in, wishing for all beings to be free of it. Whatever pleasure you feel, send it out to others. In this way, our personal problems and delights become a stepping stone for understanding the suffering and happiness of all beings. And I really like that. I really like that because right now it is hard to send out compassion. It's not hard to send out compassion to people that we love. But when you're trying to send out compassion to all beings, all creatures on this planet, sometimes it's a little difficult to send out that compassion to people that we might not agree with or people that we might be angry at. But when you send out compassion, when you flip the script and you send out compassion instead of hate and negativity, those ripples, those waves of positive energy that go out from you hit the bank and come back, just like throwing a pebble in a pond, you know? And so I truly believe in that. All right, let me make sure. Let me go back here. Oh, Jen says, hello, neighbor. Love and light to all. Hi, Jen. It is good to see you here. And let's see what else we got. Jen. Nancy says, beautiful. The not awake yet must be scared out of their minds. They are. I mean, we can feel that. I mean, I can feel that. Teresa says, love is the only thing that heals others. I want the jacknuts healed. Me too, girl, please. Where's my towel? This could save your life. You should always carry a towel. Kat says, the channel is misnamed. There's nothing primitive about his work. Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. The guy, isn't he in Australia or New Zealand? Is that the guy you're talking about? Who builds all the things like a Stone Age person would? I like that stuff. I like flint napping, as you guys know. Barbara says, could you please send prayers for my pup Trixie, who is having medical issues? Absolutely. Let me write Trixie down, and I will put Trixie next to my prayer candle. Trixie, the pup. Barbara. Barbara's pup. Okay, got it. You betcha. You betcha. We will all send energy to Trixie. I know how hard it is to watch an animal suffer or have medical conditions. There's so little that we can do, and it's very difficult for them to tell us. Um, it's difficult for them to tell or communicate to us, what problems they're having and what's going on, So I know how frustrating that can be. Even the most connected of animal people, people who connect to animals, there's still that little touch of unknown or uncertainty. And, I get it, but you give it to the universe, um, my favorite goddess is Eir, E-I-R, when it comes to healing. I know a lot of people reach out to St. Francis, our dear Catholic friends, love. I actually have a statue of St. Francis in my backyard. I love him, So yes, we can help you out with that. Let me go down the list here. Oh, Jenny is ready to go home and thaw out because North Dakota is cold, and it never really gets warm there. I mean, in the summer, I suppose it does for 15 or 20 minutes. But yeah, that's a cold place. Fatima is sending prayers and healing light to Trixie. Thank you. Oh my gosh, well, let me tell you. Agador wants to know how Ruben is doing. Well, Ruben is doing fantastic. He had a shower on Monday. I try to give him a shower once a week to get all the dust and stuff off of him. He's a tropical bird, so he kind of needs that. So he got a shower on Monday, and he got his nails clipped yesterday. So he is looking very handsome, but he wouldn't talk to me all day yesterday. I mean, he stayed with me through the garage demolition, but then after we cut his nails, he was kind of like, I want nothing to do with you. But this morning he was already up on my arm, so I think he's forgiven me, which is nice. Kat says St. Francis was cool. Mom used to have a statue of him over my first cat's grave. Yeah, St. Francis is cool. What a heart St. Francis had for the animals, right? Speaking of craziness, which we weren't actually saying, but we're going to segue that way into craziness. I got more kids' guides from the Republicans. I got more kids' guides from the fascists. So this time the fascists are talking about the kids' guide to the armed forces, because children need to know all about that, right? I mean, maybe some kids have some interest in it. I actually did. I shouldn't make fun of this because I really did have an interest in the armed forces when I was a kid. But I sought that information out. I didn't have it pushed at me like this. We got the kids' guide to 9/11 and the war on terror. Why they're sending this now and not in September, I have no idea. But there you go. I also got the kids' guide to American veterans, which is hilarious because, the veterans are not being treated well. But the one that really triggered me, I'll be honest, it did trigger me, was the kids' guide to Israel. And what triggered me was in the back, they have a section called The Truth About Israel. And they say, lie. Conflict in the region is because Israel won't recognize a Palestinian state. Lie. Violence in the region is because Israel doesn't want peace. Lie. Israel was created only because the world felt badly about the Holocaust. Lie. Israel wants to control the Temple Mount and wants to destroy Islam's third most important shrine, the Dome of the Rock. Lie. Israel is an apartheid state and needs to be boycotted and sanctioned. Lie. Israel's army, the IDF, is guilty of war crimes. This is how they're indoctrinating our children. Please, I don't want to turn this into a bitch stream, so I'm not going to say too much about this, but this is happening. Serenity now. Serenity now. But yeah, Katie, it is. And Nancy, yes. And Kat, yes. So, yeah. Yes. Fatima, yes. They are going to brainwash the kids. Yes. That is exactly what this is. And I don't know who signed me up for this, but whoever you are, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, because it gives me an opportunity to show people that this kind of thing is going on. All right. So every time you think, oh, well, maybe they're not so bad. No, they are horrible. But that said, I know everything's going to be okay. There are so many cracks in the pavement right now. Breathe in white light. Thank you, Annie. You are the voice of reason. Yes. And that is just weird and bizarre. I couldn't have said it better. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kat. Kat is calling my dragon familiar to circle around and protect. Yes. Have it circle around and protect me too while you're at it. I'm constantly working the white light, you know. Yes, Teresa, the tower is shaking. The tower is shaking. And you know what? Did you guys see that Dump had a rally? Just had a rally the other day? Like a first 100-day rally? Does nobody think that that's bizarre and pathetic? Oh, I need coddling. The press is saying that my numbers are going down. I'm going to have a rally and talk about all the lies that I'm doing right now. Whoo, girl. So. And with a bang. Today is the 30th. Yeah, you got that right. Brenda, to imagine, shared weeks ago that her guides told her April will, I'm not sure what that means. April will, end with a bang. Yes, gotcha. Yeah, true that. I can't believe it's almost May already. I mean, that just blows my mind. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you guys about, or ask you guys about, actually. I'd like your input on this. So I was taking hydrocodone with a muscle relaxer for a month. Okay, I'm off of it now. Been off for a couple days now, and it feels good because I don't like that feeling. But anyways, I'm off of it now. But I got the weirdest dreams. And the way that these dreams, I was kind of telling Katie about this. The way that the dreams were happening was I was seeing things really close up. It was as if, you know how your dream is sort of like the camera, you know, your perspective in the dream is kind of like a camera, you know. Well, everything was really close up. Like I would see cement, like just far away from my face, or a tree, or people's eyes and faces. It was really weird. Have any of you guys had that while you were on like hydrocodone? It was spooky and weird, but then bizarrely enough, the next day, I would see what I saw. I would see what I was looking at. Like I was talking about, like the cement. It was cement and then dirt and then a little bit of grass. Well, I realized I was seeing the back steps in my backyard, and the eye that I was seeing real close up that was kind of strange and weird, because I didn't recognize the color or anything. It was my mailman. It was my mailman's eye. He had like a little, what is that called? Skin tag right here. I was seeing the skin tag in my dream, and then I saw he had the skin tag right there. Isn't that weird? So, anybody else ever have that? Annie says, witnessing awareness. AI medicine like a bird. No, but interesting. Yeah, like a bird's eye view, but really super close up. Holy schmoly. Holy schmoly. I love that. Let's see. Animal medicine. Yeah. Teresa says, wow, that's kind of neat. Annie said animal medicine. You see faces all the time. I do see faces. Are you on the spectrum, Swampy, by chance? I'm on the spectrum, and that's a common thing, because when you're on the spectrum, you process things a lot slower. So when you go to bed at night and you lay down and close your eyes, you're still processing things that happened. So it takes people with autism like myself a long time to fall asleep, because I have to wait for my brain to stop processing. So I see a lot of faces. I'll see wide views of things that I saw during the day and maybe didn't consciously realize that I saw. But then when this review happens, when I lay down at night, I see it. I know it's very weird. So I'm wondering if you might be on the spectrum and that you're having that happen. Annie's keyboard is wonky. Oh no, that's not good. I took Vicodin daily for over 15 years and never had that happen. Wow. Maybe it's just something with the way that my brain works. It gives Kat horrendous nightmares and she's allergic to it. Oh, that's crazy. I can only watch funny stuff if it's political. Yeah, I understand. Fatima says, oh, wow! Quiet, sweet little Fatima. Oh, wow! I love you, girl. Nancy, sounds like lucid dreaming. It kind of felt like lucid dreaming, just really close up lucid dreaming. Oh, in nature? Yes. What is that called? Somebody who's smarter than me. What is it called when you see faces in nature? Like if you're looking like towards a tree and you see kind of two knots in the tree that look like eyes and maybe a cut in the bark that looks like a mouth. You know what I mean? What is that called? Swampy doesn't know, but suspects. Hey, you can always get checked out. It won't hurt you, to be checked out. And then you get to know yourself better. You know what I mean? I did love, what is that called? Lorazepam. I've never had lorazepam. My son Justice is on the spectrum, and he says he talks to people in his sleep. There is a place, Jenny. Have you guys seen, what is the name of the podcast? It's about kids. It's about twin kids who are on the spectrum, who are nonverbal mostly, who communicate telepathically with their moms or their caregivers or their teachers or siblings. And I suspect that this happens with more than just nonverbal, because my brothers are verbal and they communicate telepathically. But they talk on that podcast about a place called The Hill. And The Hill is a place where these nonverbal autistic kids go to and they communicate with each other. And the craziest thing in this podcast, they were talking about how when they were bringing children in to study this phenomenon, that several of the children recognized each other from the hill, this spiritual place that they go to. And the woman that has been doing all this, has been doing all the research on this, said that she highly suspects that these kids are not completely tethered to their bodies the way that neurotypical people are. And I get that. I always feel like I'm a little bit detached from my body. Like my fine motor skills aren't very good, you know. And a lot of kids who have a more severe form of autism are even more so detached from their fine motor skills in their bodies. It's like they're free floating, like they can go between this world and the next, which is frustrating for them because they don't have a lot of control over themselves then. But at the hill, they can all congregate, talk to one another, share ideas, share their best practices, and then come back into the world and put those practices to test. And they're finding that these kids are finding ways to communicate with their families in a way that they've never been able to do before. And I think that is amazing. That is so exciting to me. I'll find out the name of the I will find out the name of the podcast so I can tell you guys, unless somebody put it down here. There was a movie where the little girl called it The Grid. That's cool too. The Grid. I'm going to have to look at that. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, wow. I see heaven like that. A hill with a pond at the foot with a trail beyond that. Me too. That's very much like how I see heaven. Annie says, wow. I think the language spells is used for blocking. Yeah, could be. Could be. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, if any of you guys know what the name of that podcast is, I just can't think of it right now. But these kids are telepathic. And I knew that because my brothers are telepathic, you know. I don't know that I'm telepathic. I don't know that. I mean, I hear things, but I think it's, you know, what I hear is my spirit guides. I'm not hearing another person talking to me. The telepathy tapes. Thank you. Yes, that's it. You guys have to check this out. The telepathy tapes is so fascinating. It's so fascinating. Thank you. Thank you, Swampy. That would have made me crazy. I could not remember that. I could not. Wow. So yeah. So my Rick, the male partner in my life, he went to Atlanta a week ago. And I'm like, bring me home something. Bring me home something. He always brings me home something, right? A t-shirt or whatever. He brought me a tiny, 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 tiny deck of cards. I thought that was so funny. It says, through the mixing glass. And on the back, it has all these drinks. Now, you guys know I'm not a drinker, all right? I don't drink. But I thought this was freaking hysterical. Look how tiny they are compared to my hand. They're very, very small. Or compared to like an Oracle card. I have my Oracle cards right here. Look at that. Thanks, Rick. Oh, okay. Annie says, I've been told I'm a good sender, hoping to become a clearer hearer. Gotcha. Yeah, me too. And Jenny says, it happens all the time. My husband comes in the room, says bye, but Justice is asleep and carries on with the conversation. Whoa. I'm a conscious telepathic communicator. Neat. Neat. Yeah, it is so amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's wild. It's wild how to me, I find it interesting that, there's so much turmoil and all this stuff that's going on in the world right now. And yet these interesting spiritual gifts are coming to the surface. Have you noticed that? Like, more and more people are discovering their spiritual gifts or their spiritual connection. And there's more interesting things happening with science. And it's like, yeah, there's all this hate and this hate energy out there, but there's also all this good energy that's also happening. It's like one's rising up, so the other one is rising to meet it. So who knows where this is all going to take us? I don't know. Oh, Fatima, you find small things very cute. Me too. I like miniature everything. I do. Annie says there's a deepening of knowledge or of knowing. Yes. And you know what, Swampy? You're probably right. I think we all telepathically communicate unconsciously. I think you're probably right about that. Because I've had like weird things pop into my head. Like, mostly with me and my mom, like I know when she's going to call. I hear in my head, your mom is calling, and then the phone will ring. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but I get that all the time with my mom. I do have a somewhat of a telepathic understanding with my mom. It's just not very practiced. My brothers, though, I'm pretty sure that they all don't need to say a word when they're home because they all just talk that way in their heads. Teresa says, I feel like people who aren't neurotypical have more spiritual aspects to them. I don't know if there's more. I think they're different, though. I think that people who are neurodivergent have to find ways to communicate more effectively, right? So it pushes, well, maybe you're right then. It kind of pushes the envelope in what we can and can't do compared to neurotypical people who can just speak, right? So yeah, you might be right about that. I'm gonna have to think about that. That's gonna be in my brain for a while, Teresa. Teresa, you put something in my brain. Stop that. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. I agree, Swampy. After 20 plus years of marriage, a kind of telepathy, a kind of telepathy occurs all the time. That's true. Yes. Kat says, I'm finding out that there is good darkness, but messed up darkness too. Daily life becomes a struggle to not get lost in the messed up darkness. Yeah. Well, I don't know that you can fully appreciate the light without darkness. And I think that darkness sometimes is there to teach us lessons. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it good, but maybe beneficial might be a good word, So I totally get what you're saying. Sorry. No, you're not. And that's okay. I don't want you to be sorry. I was just kidding. Annie says, I ask for help out loud now. Yeah. Mary, good morning. Hello. That is why they are trying to go back to brainwashing the youth or whoever will fall for the lies. They know the woke is waking. It might be a mighty force that they will probably not be able to. Right. Yeah, that they won't be able to control. That's right. I agree with you on that 100%. Yeah, I mean, this feels, these things feel like a last-ditch effort to try to take control of people's minds, But yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I keep getting, when I go to spirit and I meditate and I'm just sitting with spirit in the moment, I can't help but feel like everything's going to be okay. I don't get a doom and gloom feeling. And I know maybe for some people, it's kind of an adrenaline rush to get addicted to the bad news and get fired up about the bad news. Katie and I talk about that all the time. Like, we see it. We even see it a little bit in our community, and that makes me a little sad. I wish people would start focusing on the light and the positives, and um, having constant bitch sessions. I don't think that does anything. I think that venting is healthy. I do. But I also think that looking for solutions is healthy. If you're bitching about something but not doing anything about it, it just like that energy can be addictive. You know what I'm saying? You know? But yeah. Um, oh, welcome back, Katie. I missed you. Jen says, I hang out with an 11-year-old autistic boy before school daily. He makes some crazy sound almost constantly and jumps around. I asked, are you fighting dragons? He said, I'm letting out the energy. Right. Yeah, I totally can, I can relate to that. I do. Let's see. Plus, new advanced soul groups are being born every day. Right on. I agree. What terrifies me lately is the regime is arresting and deporting citizens. That is very discouraging, and that does make me angry. And every time I see a story where that is happening, I go ahead and I link that story to one of my senators and I say, this has got to stop. You need to do something. I keep hounding them, and I hope that you all are doing the same thing. They have to know that we are not okay with this, and we're not okay with them not doing anything. I'm making that very clear too, because that makes me crazy. Crazy. Fatima says, I've experienced telepathy quite a few times. Well, you know what? I feel like I totally believe you about that too, Fatima, because you have that connected personality. Like, you connect with people. You're always like the greeter, the encourager. You're so compassionate. Like, you're compassionate like Kuan Yin, or compassionate like Mother Mary, So it doesn't surprise me that you would connect on that level too. That's neat. That is neat. Jen said, it struck me that he might not be referring to frustration. He might be it might mean actual energy like we feel. Yes. Yes, Jen, you're absolutely right. It's like, what do you do with it? What do we do with it? I'm not neurotypical, but I'm pretty close to neurotypical. My autism doesn't affect me all that. It doesn't affect me in a way that hinders me from doing things. But like with my brothers, you'll see them, my brothers flap when they get, when they have to let that energy out. I wiggle my thumbs. So if you ever see me wiggling my thumbs, it's because I've got that energy and I got to do something with it. I'm very much a fidgeter. I always have like pens or pencils in my hands. I'm always twirling the pens. This is too light, but I'm always twirling things in my hands. That's part of my, that's my go-to fidget, is twirling. And that helps me like release the energy, But yeah. But yeah, there is like, we get impacted. It's not that autistic people don't feel. We feel too much and have nothing that we can do with that, sometimes. Swampy says, we are part of a magical community, but still struggle to comprehend its full value. For sure. You're absolutely right. Annie says, me too. I have grown in discernment these past couple of years since December 14th, 2023 is top following the political shows. Yes. Yeah. And Nancy says, I've unsubscribed to several channels because of the feeding frenzy of negativity. I don't need that. Either do I. Amen, sister. I couldn't have said that better. Annie says, I found the energy leaking in all aspects, so I slammed that door. Right on. Yeah. And Katie has told me the exact same thing. Kat says, good for you, Dali. Thank you. Exactly, says Annie to Nancy. Everybody's saying, yes, you are totally right, Nancy. Yes, Katie. Mark Kelly, I hope he runs for president. I think he would be amazing. I think he would be amazing. He'd be like the perfect kind of moderate Democrat. You know what I mean? Willing to work with people if they're willing to actually work for a solution. You know, I love him. You are so lucky to have him. He's amazing. I agree. Fatima is like an angel. I think she is an angel. You know, if you don't know that already, Fatima, you are an angel. Okay. So the next time I see you in a video, I expect to see you wearing wings. I want to see your wings and your halo. Do you hear my bird? Nancy, my bird is giving you a show right now. He's like talking away. Ruben, where are you? Where are you? He might come walking over here. We'll see. Politics are of the lower realm. Therefore, you encounter lower realm entities. Oh, I love that. That is so true. So true. That is so true. Teresa says, I can't wait until we have emotional telepathy so we can actually understand the intentions behind the words. You know what? For sure. You know, have you ever had it where you read a text? Like you get a text from somebody and you read it, and in your head, you think that you know exactly what their voice was like when they said it. I hope you have a great day. Well, what does she mean by that? You know what I mean? Have you ever had that happen? I have. And now when I read texts, I read them in a monotone voice because I don't know what the emotional intention is behind those words. And there's no way we could know because it's a text, right? But even with regular, just speaking with people, it would be nice to know what the intention is. You know, I think we'll get there someday. I think we will. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but I feel like we're going in that direction, that people are evolving in that direction. And I think autism is one of those mid stages. You know, it's one of those mid stages between one spiritually evolutionary area or just evolutionary area and another. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a mid step. And I think we're seeing that. And that gives me hope. You know, it gives me hope that especially those telepathy tapes. Oh, you got to see them, you guys. It's so good. I'm going to try to put a link on my community page later so you guys can find it. Because if you're cleaning the house or you're just doing chores or whatever, it's a good listen to. And I think that you'll all appreciate it. Let's see here. You do make us happy. We want to make you happy too, though. All right. You don't have to carry the burden of happiness. If you need help with happiness, all you have to do is reach out, Fatima, and we will do our best to help you too. Okay. Because we love you and we really value and appreciate your energy. You know, I just want you to know that all of you guys have that in you. Fatima is just a little extra special. There's something there, like you guys said, she's like an angel. There's something little extra special there. But everyone in this chat right now, I love you guys. Even the ones that I just met today. Barbara, I love you. So, yeah, we love you, Fatima. Let's see. Oh, look at that heart. One of my ADHD fidgets is wiggling my toes. Oh, me too. I wiggle my toes. Sort of like a cat makes biscuits. Oh, neat. I wiggle my toes too. And I shake. I wag my legs. You know, some people flap. I go woo, 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 with my legs if I'm really, really excited or upset about something. I shuffle a deck of cards when I need to do something with my hands. Yes. That's a good one too, Katie. Nancy says, my son is on the spectrum. Difficult birth. He lives next door. He looks out for me. A bright light in my life. That's like what my with my brothers Dave and Doug do with my mom. They live with my mom, but they do everything there. They do everything. They do all the laundry. They do all the chores around the house. They pay the utility bills. They really help her out, and they do drive. Even though they have autism, they can drive just like I have autism and I can drive. So they drive her to all of her doctor's appointments. Especially right now because I can't drive because I'm wearing this brace on my leg. So yeah, they are little angels, right? Your son's a little angel. Yeah, you are very blessed. Mark Kelly is a very good man. We used to have the same podiatrist. I have talked to him there. That's funny. How'd you guys meet? Our feet. That's funny. Oh, cool. Annie says, a grandson of mine is autistic and he's taking his driver's ed this week. Rock on. That's awesome. And Nancy literally hearts everyone. Nancy hearts everyone. We heart you back, Nancy. Oh, yeah. Jenny plays with the change in her pockets. My dad used to do that. I think my dad was on the spectrum. My dad used to play with his handkerchief. Like he used that we called it the futzel. Dave, Doug, myself, and my father, we all had futzels. My brothers futzeled the corner of their blankets. They each had a blanket, and they would futzel their blanket. My dad would futzel his hanky. And I had a little stuffed dog named Henry. Actually, I still have a little stuffed dog named Henry. He sits on my bed. He's 60 years old, I think. But anyways, I would flip his ears up. I'd go flip, 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 flip with his ears. Ruben is calling. You're absolutely right, Katie. Worry stones, yeah, are a good carry for fidgeting. I have one. It's like got a divot. Is that what you're talking about, Katie? It's the stone that's got like the divot in it. And I've got one that I have that is almost paper thin that I've had since I was 16 years old. And yeah, I also have a dent in my forehead right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I have a dent right here in my forehead from going like this. This is my worry action. I take my knuckle of my thumb, push it into my head and spin it. And that makes me feel so much better when I do it. But from years of doing it, I've got like a dent in my head now. So now you know why I've got a dent in my head. All right. Nancy says, I have discovered that this is a time for us to enrich our spirituality, embrace the light, and grow. Be the love and compassion. This helps me tremendously. Yes, girl. Me too. That is so wise. That is so wise. Fatima's aura is radiating pink, green, and intense gold white light. Oh, that's neat, Jen. Can you see auras, Jen? I can too, but I can't online. I have to be in person with someone to be able to see sort of the color outline of their body. And you know what? It started for me when I got a concussion when I was in 3rd grade. Isn't that weird? My 3rd oldest son has a degree in architecture, and he's also on the spectrum. Well, rock on. That's right. Autistic people, we're changing the world, man. Cat has fidget spinners, but the cats keep stealing them. Of course they do. They're cats. That's their job. Oh, Barbara says, thank you so much. I really love you and your channel. The group is so warm and welcoming. Oh, this is a really good group of people. You know, everyone that's in here right now is somebody who has tremendous value to me. So I'm glad that you're feeling that, you know, because that's what I want here. I want us to be a family of friends that looks out for each other, that prays for each other, that, you know, just helps each other through the hard times. You know, that's what I want to be. You've never had a driver's license, Teresa? Really? Wow. I know a couple people who've never gotten their driver's license. If you live in a place where there's a good, transit system, do you need it? You know what I mean? I'm just kind of going down the list here because Katie's got to go because she has a very busy day today. I love you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, we're getting close to the end here, so I'm going to just scoot down here, and I am going to pull some cards for you guys as kind of a way to end the show. We only got a couple minutes left here. Angels protect us. Spirits of the land and my home, the land vitir and the husvitir, surround us. And ancestors, please give us wisdom. What do you want us to know for today, Spirit? Please and thank you. And this deck is the Soul Coaching Oracle by Denise Linn. If you guys I don't know if you're familiar with this. Soul Coaching from Denise Linn. I love Denise Linn. Love her. Oh, did you see it? I'm sorry. Soul Coaching from Denise Linn. She's amazing. She's really a connected lady, and her cards are awesome. Nancy says, I've always wondered what color my aura is. Just curiosity. I hope to be able to see auras one day. I wish I could see you in person, Nancy. I could tell you what I see. It is Hay House subscription, Nancy. Yes. All right. So this card is Believe. That's our first card. Believe. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that card is. Wow. The universe is wide open to this child. Think of the stories that he's creating in his head given what he's looking at there. Believe. Oh, I love that. And our second card it is a gorgeous card. It's one of I don't know that I've even seen that in this deck yet. It's surrender. And if you look closely, there is a land vitir or an ancestor in that river, surrendering to the flow. Oh, whew, that gives me the chills. Okay, one more. I agree with you. Children are so pure and trusting and imaginative. Never squash the imagination of a child. That has an effect on that child for the rest of their life. All right, here we go. And the last one is beauty. Beauty around the door, beauty through the door. Like finding beauty right where you are. Yeah, me too. These cards, these are powerful cards, let me tell you. I've been using them for my personal readings. And it's weird that I've never seen the Believe card. I've seen the Surrender and the Beauty card before, but the Believe one, this is the first time I'm actually looking at that card. I know some people like to page through their cards when they get them. I don't do that usually. I wait to see what comes up. But between the Believe card, the Surrender card, and the Beauty card, I am really, truly getting a strong message from Spirit that says it's going to be okay. You know, you need to put that energy out into the universe. You need to surrender to the fact that things are happening around us that we cannot change. You know, if you emotionally allow that stuff to change you, okay, or change your behavior, you're allowing the negativity to dictate how your life is going to be led. And Spirit is saying here, you have to believe and trust the process. Believe and trust that the universe has the best intentions for all of us. Okay, that the divine has its best intention for all of us. And look for the beauty in the moment. Okay, Katie had a great card today where she was talking about how where if you have a negative feeling come up, you should stop what you're doing and think of 3 positive things to supersede that negative thought. You know, think of the positive things, you know, flip the script, you know, change your perspective and focus on something that is good, because what we put out comes back to us. So we need to be putting out those positive vibes, staying in the moment and finding the beauty in the moment, not letting TV or social media, I was going to say mass media, social media, don't let that stuff get you down. Let's find joy. Let's find love. Let's find encouragement. Let's find prayer. Let's find meditation. And keep pushing all of that positivity out to each other and to the universe, okay? It does help. Even when things feel hopeless and make us angry, we have each other and we can make this world a better place. That's what I believe, okay? Pamela's here. Pamela says, maybe negative feelings are warranted right now. I don't feel I have to always be positive. Well, no, of course not. You know, when your feelings are valid, But if you get stuck on a feeling, that's where it starts to affect your life. And that's where things can start to go into a place of frustration and negativity, you know, like a chronic negativity. That's not good for us. It's going to make us sick, you know? But yeah, believe me, there's lots of things that are pissing me off about the world right now. You know, I'm not going to act like, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky Dolly every single day. No, there are things that are really making me mad, like undocumented people or American citizens being deported. That pisses me off. That is crazy. What the hell? You know, what the actual hell? You know, so yes, it is okay to feel your feelings. Your feelings are valid, and you do need to address your feelings, right? You don't want to stuff that in. But if you feel yourself getting stuck, it's time to step back and observe and deal with it and then move on. You know, we have each other. Pam says, that's true, but we need each other to encourage and bolster. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you on that. Like 100,000 times. Yes. Yes. We do need each other. We do. And I'd like to see, Teresa, this is what I'm going to end it on right here. Notice the faults, but seek the beauty. Yes. Notice the faults, but seek the beauty. 100%. And sometimes the faults lead to beauty, right? You know? So anyways, I am going to take off now, you guys. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. It is so good to feel your energy again, you guys. I love you guys so much. This was great. And I will see you all again. I'm going to try to do a reading for Sunday. And then I will see you guys next week. Okay? Take care, everybody. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. Dance around the room. It's time to go. Why are you still here? Dolly needs a sandwich and a nap. I'll see you next time. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. All rock. Dolly loves you. Dazaroo, it's time to go. Why are you still here? Dolly, you still here? Have a great day.